This weekend I'll be heading down to Virginia for the SCCA time trials at VIR, Virginia International Raceway. I'm pretty excited, and to go with that, I decided, well, I didn't decide, I needed a new helmet. But basically what happened was I went to the time trials at Nationals, and my helmets are all old. They're all Snell 2005. I've had them since 2009, 2010. So they're not quite 15 years old, but because the rating is 15 years old, they're basically expiring, and I can't use them anymore for most competition. So I had to get a new helmet. And so I ended up buying nothing fancy, just a G-Force, whatever model number, I'll post it somewhere up here. And when I got it, and I was like, you know what? I think it'd be fun if my daughter could, participate, to some degree, and like customize this helmet. So I ended up buying a white one, and I decided I was going to strip it down, I was going to sand it down, and I was going to figure out how she could do some artwork on it. And what seemed like, so there's a couple different options that you could do. You could, for yourself, you could paint it, you could vinyl wrap it, add stickers. But for a 7-year-old, I'm sitting there thinking, well, I don't really want to really dealing with a lot of paint. And so I decided that, Sharpies would work, right? Let's do that. So I let her draw on it with Sharpies and color it in. I just told her, do whatever you want, whatever you want, just do your thing. I told her to think about it a little bit ahead of time, just so she had kind of a plan. 7-year-olds are, they're not really necessarily, thinking ahead of time. So she drew it up, and then what I basically did, so to do that, disassembled, took the visor off, took out as much of the hardware as I could, taped up all the everything else that I could, especially right around the edge, all the the little gaskets and rubber trim and all that stuff, and then let her draw on it. And then I taped up the visor area with paper, and the bottom part with paper, and then I just sprayed it with a clear enamel. Now it didn't turn out perfect. It did run a little bit, unfortunately. The Sharpies, are permanent, but they also dissolve with certain paint thinners and paint, chemicals. So it did run a little bit. I think if I was to do it again, I would, with a 7-year-old, I would probably still use Sharpies, but what I would do instead is trying to put on like a normal base coat. I would do a very, very extremely light base coat, and then another very, 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 very light base coat beyond that, and then just kind of layer it up very light until I got kind of a good base. Because I think if you just kind of get a couple little spritzes on an area and it sets, then you kind of get another little few spritzes on an area and it sets, then eventually it'll protect the Sharpie from kind of a heavier normal coat. The initial sanding to take off kind of the sheen of it so that the Sharpies would kind of bite in a little bit more, I used just kind of a medium grit sandpaper, like a 200 or 300, I'll have to double check, but somewhere right around there, just to kind of take that sheen off so that the Sharpies would be able to adhere pretty well. Then after the clear acrylic, I wet sanded it with a 1000 grit sandpaper just to kind of clean it up, and then I just reassembled everything. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Yes, it does have some runs in it, and it did kind of bleed some of her artwork a little bit. The fox at the front kind of looks more like an anteater now, but okay, what it is, what it is. It's I'm not gonna be too beat up about it. She's fine. Most of the artwork is perfectly fine. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty excited to go to VIR this weekend and sport my custom 7-year-old's helmet, design. And if you, so hopefully maybe I'll see some of you guys there. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate it. And if you like these weird eclectic channel that I have, please subscribe. It does help. If you want to put a comment down, just maybe some ideas of how you do it a little differently, I definitely appreciate it, and maybe it'll give some people some ideas. It would help out. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you found it a helpful video. Thanks. Bye.